Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show. Before I get on out of here, I had to talk about a story that's very, very important. And albeit indirectly, it involves Caitlin.
You would think handing a rookie the most legendary number in women's basketball history would be enough to calm things down, right? Not even close. Stephen A. Smith just dropped a full-blown bomb that has the entire Team USA committee diving for cover. And it flips everything we thought we understood about who really holds the power in the WNBA. Reports are coming in that Team USA didn't just invite Caitlin Clark back to the roster in a desperate attempt to clean up their image. They tried to hand her jersey number 12. And that number isn't just ink on a mesh tank top. That number is Diana Taurasi's number. It's basically the sacred trophy of women's basketball. But instead of smiling, nodding, and falling in line like every rookie ever, Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham reportedly looked the committee dead in the eye and said, "We're not playing." This is the moment the WNBA finally realizes it doesn't own the power anymore, and the fallout is about to be explosive. To understand why this move is such a huge slap to the face of the establishment, you have to know the history behind that number. Jersey 12 is not just cloth and stitching. In women's basketball, it's the crown. It has belonged to Diana Taurasi for 2 straight decades. It represents the white mamba, the iron grip of the old guard, and years of UConn dominance. For the Olympic Committee to turn around and offer that exact jersey to Caitlin Clark shows you everything you need to know about how desperate they've become. They know the ratings are sinking without her. They know the fans are angry. So they tried the ultimate desperate move, erasing a living legend just to please the rookie they spent months tearing down. But they made a massive mistake. They assumed Caitlin wanted their gift. They thought the shine of the jersey would cover the disrespect of the past 6 months. They were wrong, and Stephen A. Smith wasn't about to let the situation die quietly. On his latest broadcast, he went absolutely nuclear on the whole thing and gave the context the mainstream media refuses to touch. He confirmed the offer was real and called it exactly what it was: a weak attempt to save face. Smith explained that you can't spend months letting veterans bully a player, leave her off the Olympic team, and then act like a jersey number is enough to fix everything. He said, "Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't about basketball anymore. It's about respect." According to his sources, Caitlin saw right through the stunt. She knew taking that number would put an even bigger target on her back. People would say she stole the throne from Taurasi before Taurasi was even ready to hand it over. And that would turn the entire locker room against her more than they already are. And here's the twist that nobody saw coming: Sophie Cunningham's involvement. For months, the media tried to paint Sophie and Caitlin as bitter enemies, especially after those physical showdowns between the Fever and the Mercury. The story was simple. Sophie is the enforcer for the old guard, Caitlin is the rising star. But new rumors suggest that everything is flipping. Sophie Cunningham is reportedly refusing to suit up alongside Caitlin for Team USA. Why? Because she's reading the situation clearly. The latest reports say Sophie's tired of the petty politics and the mean girl drama that has filled league locker rooms this whole season. If the league treats its biggest star like this, what chance do players like Sophie have after grinding every day? She's drawing a line in the sand. What we're watching is the first real player revolt in the modern age of the WNBA. By refusing to play, even with the legendary number 12 on the table, Caitlin and Sophie are stripping the league of its 2 biggest weapons, the generational superstar and the fiery personality that keeps fans locked in. It sends a loud message. The players are done being scared of the establishment. The committee thought they could snap their fingers, flash a shiny prize, and everyone would fall back in line. Instead, they got slammed with a rejection. And let's be real, a Team USA roster without these two, after all this drama and the ratings collapse, is going to look weak. It feels like a team stuck in the past, not one built for the future. But the reason behind their refusal might be even more shocking than the refusal itself. Here is the part of the story the WNBA is desperately trying to hide. And it's something Stephen A. Smith has been hinting at for weeks. Rumors are spreading that big-time outside investors have been watching this chaos unfold with checkbooks ready. We're talking private equity groups, maybe even overseas leagues planning to launch something brand new, a breakaway league or a massive global tournament that could go toe-to-toe with the Olympics. If Caitlin and Sophie are refusing to play for the current system, it might be because they already know there's a billion-dollar safety net waiting for them somewhere else. Why put up with petty jealousy, cheap fouls, and drama over a jersey number when you could help build your own league and take control of everything? Their refusal isn't just a no. It's a warning shot that the WNBA's monopoly over women's basketball is cracking fast. And the timing of this Jersey 12 offer? It's beyond suspicious. It dropped right after reports showed that ticket sales for post-Olympic WNBA games were skyrocketing, but only for teams Caitlin was scheduled to play. Meanwhile, interest in the old guard teams was flatlining. The league executives aren't clueless. They see the numbers. They know that without Caitlin Clark, the growth they've been bragging about disappears instantly. Offering her Taurasi's number was a Hail Mary. It was their way of saying, fine, you win. You're the face of the league now. Please save us. But Caitlin's refusal proves she holds the real power. She doesn't need their approval. She doesn't need Taurasi's number to be a superstar. Truth is, wearing 22 has already become more iconic in 6 months than 12 has been in the last 6 years. Stephen A. Smooth also talked about the internal drama inside the Phoenix Mercury, which makes Sophie Cunningham's role in this situation even more interesting. Remember, Sophie plays alongside Diana Taurasi. For her to reportedly stand with Caitlin in this boycott suggests something is seriously breaking down in Arizona. Is it possible that some veterans refusing to pass the torch have pushed away their own teammates? Sophie Cunningham is a fighter, but she's also smart. She knows the future of the league is the style Caitlin brings. Fast play, deep three-pointers, high scoring, non-stop excitement. By choosing to align with Caitlin, she's protecting her own future and distancing herself from a generation of players that fans are starting to see as bitter gatekeepers. It's a career move as much as it is a moral stand. Let's dig deeper into the disrespect that Stephen A. keeps shouting about, because it's not just the Olympic snub, it's the silence. When Caitlin was getting hammered with hard fouls, when she was getting face-guarded the full length of the floor, when Kennedy Carter hip-checked her out of nowhere, the league said nothing. The Team USA committee said nothing. But suddenly now, out of nowhere, they want to hand her the most sacred jersey in the entire program? It doesn't feel sincere. It feels like a payoff. It feels like a straight-up bribe, and reports say Caitlin's camp actually felt insulted by the move. They believe that if Team USA truly respected her, they would have put her on the roster based on merit back in June, not tried to lure her in with a legendary jersey number in August after realizing they tanked the TV ratings without her. And then there's the Diana Taurasi factor. We haven't heard anything from her about this rumor, but just imagine how that conversation went behind closed doors. Did the committee ask Diana before offering her number to a rookie? If they did and she agreed, then that means she might be ready to step away. But if they didn't ask her, and with how panicked they look, that is completely possible, then they just disrespected the greatest player in their history just to chase a rookie. That is the chaos Caitlin Clark's stardom has exposed. The league was not ready for a superstar of this magnitude, and now they're burning bridges with their legends just to keep up with the hype. It's a management disaster of the highest level, and Stephen A. Smith is loving every second of it. You also have to look at the fans. Go to any comment section, any forum, any Twitter thread. The fans are riding with Caitlin and Sophie. The whole narrative has officially flipped. The pay your dues speech is dead. Everyone watched what Caitlin did in the All-Star game. They saw her break assist records in real time. They know she belongs on that stage. So when the committee tries a stunt like offering Jersey 12, the fans read it instantly as desperation. They see it as the league trying to latch onto Caitlin's brand to rescue their own image. And by refusing, Caitlin and Sophie are becoming even more popular. They're turning into anti-heroes, standing up against a system that tried to box them in. It's the classic us versus the world storyline, and the WNBA accidentally wrote the entire script for them. Let's talk about the money again, because in professional sports, everything eventually comes down to the dollar. Stephen A. Smith pointed out that the TV partners are absolutely furious. NBC, ESPN, Amazon, these giants paid massive money for the broadcast rights, fully expecting the Caitlin Clark effect to stretch into the Olympics and the playoffs. But when Team USA left her off the roster, they basically tossed millions of dollars in ad revenue straight into the fire. Offering her jersey 12 was likely a move pushed hard by these networks. They probably told the committee, fix this or we start renegotiating. But by refusing to play, Caitlin is showing she knows her worth. She's not an employee they can move around like a chess piece just to fix ratings. She is the franchise, and if she decides she isn't playing, the whole machine grinds to a halt. We also have to think about the impact inside the locker room. If Caitlin had accepted jersey 12, just imagine the hazing. Imagine the whispers from the veterans. Oh, so you think you're Diana now? You think you earned that? It would have been brutal. It would have pushed her even further into isolation. By saying no, she dodges that entire trap. She comes off humble to the public and powerful to the people running the league. And having Sophie Cunningham standing with her blows up the narrative that every player hates Caitlin. It shows that the smart players, the ones who actually want the league to grow, are on her side. It splits the WNBA into two groups, those who want to push the game forward and those who want to protect their own spots. Stephen A. Smith also pointed out a really uncomfortable truth about the selection committee. He asked, who are these people protecting? They first tried to defend leaving Caitlin off the roster by saying she didn't have enough experience. But offering her jersey 12 destroys that excuse completely. You don't hand a rookie the captain's number if you think she isn't ready. This contradiction exposes the lie. It proves the original snub wasn't about basketball at all. It was personal. It was petty. And now that they're trying to undo it, they look lost and unprepared. Smith's breakdown makes it clear that the WNBA's leadership is divided and making decisions based on emotion and panic instead of logic and strategy. So what does this mean for the future of Team USA? If Caitlin and Sophie stay firm in their refusal, Team USA will walk into the Paris Games and every tournament after under a giant dark cloud. Every time the team struggles to score, every time the ratings dip, every announcer and fan will bring up the two players who aren't there. And the shadow of jersey 12 will hang over whoever ends up wearing it. If Diana wears it, people will say she's refusing to let go. If someone new wears it, they'll say Caitlin should have been the one. The committee built a lose-lose situation for themselves. They turned what should have been a celebration of basketball into a messy political drama, and they have no one to blame. There is another layer to this Sophie Cunningham situation that deserves serious attention. Sophie is about to become a free agent. She has been the heart and soul of Phoenix for years, playing with the kind of toughness fans love, but she has always been overshadowed by the big three in Phoenix. By aligning herself with Caitlin, she boosts her entire brand overnight. She goes from being a strong role player to being one half of the most talked about duo in the entire sport. Rumors are already flying that Caitlin and Sophie could team up in the offseason, maybe in the new unrivaled 3-on-3 league being built by Brianna Stewart and Nefiesa Collier. Just imagine that. Caitlin and Sophie on the same team, dominating a league that goes head-to-head with the WNBA's marketing. That is the commissioner's worst nightmare. And this refusal to play for Team USA, it's the first step toward that reality. Stephen A. Smith ended his segment with a chilling warning to the WNBA. He said, "You cannot fight the future." He compared this moment to the NBA in the 80s or 90s. When a star shows up who changes the shape of the game, you build around them. You don't haze them. You don't try to squeeze them into a box. The WNBA tried to shove Caitlin into the rookie who waits her turn box, and she shattered it. Now they're trying to shove her into the heir apparent box with the jersey 12 offer, and she's rejecting that too. She's creating her own path, and that is terrifying for the people who are used to controlling the story. The refusal also exposes a massive gap between the WNBA players and the WNBA business side. The business side wants Caitlin everywhere, on every poster, in every commercial, wearing the biggest jersey in the program. The player side, especially the old guard, wants to gatekeep. The committee tried to connect the two sides with this offer, but the bridge is already burned. Caitlin knows the business side loves her, but she doesn't trust the basketball side. And how could she? After the hard fouls, the silence, and the snubs, trust is gone. Sophie Cunningham seems to be the only veteran who realizes that if the business side collapses, the players suffer too. She's siding with the money, and the money is with Caitlin Clark. As we look ahead to the rest of the season, this storyline is going to hang over every single game. Every time the Fever play, the cameras will be searching for signs of rebellion. Every time the Mercury take the floor, people will be watching Sophie's body language around Taurasi. The Jersey 12 drama has become the symbol of the WNBA's identity crisis. Are they a league built on history and tradition, or a league driven by entertainment and star power? They tried to play both sides by offering the jersey, and they failed at both. They insulted the tradition and still failed to secure the star. It is a masterclass in how not to run a sports league. Now we have to ask, what happens next? Does the committee come back with an even bigger offer? Do they beg? Or do they double down and try to smear Caitlin and Sophie in the media? Stephen A. Smith predicts the last option. He thinks anonymous sources will start leaking stories claiming Caitlin has a bad attitude, all to hide the committee's mistakes. But fans aren't dumb. The Jersey 12 offer is the smoking gun. It proves they wanted her, and they were willing to break their own history to get her. The fact that she said no is the ultimate power move. It flips the leverage completely to the players. The WNBA is in checkmate, and it was a rookie and a role player who trapped them. In the end, this isn't just about a jersey number. It's about a changing of the guard that is happening whether the establishment likes it or not. Team USA played a dangerous game, and they lost. They tried to use Diana Taurasi's legacy as a bargaining chip, and it blew up in their faces. Now they're staring at a future where their biggest star and one of their most popular veterans are sitting out by choice. Stephen A. Smith was right. The jealousy and the bad leadership finally pushed the players too far. The question now isn't whether Caitlin Clark will ever wear a Team USA jersey again. The real question is whether Team USA will even matter by the time she decides to return. The ball is in their court, but for the first time ever, nobody is waiting for them to shoot. What do you think? Did Caitlin make the right call turning down the number? Let me know in the comments. You would think handing a rookie the most legendary number in women's basketball history would be enough to smooth things over, right? Think again. Stephen A. Smith just dropped a bombshell that has the entire Team USA committee scrambling for cover, and it changes everything we thought we knew about the power dynamics in the WNBA. Reports are coming in that Team USA didn't just invite Caitlin Clark back to the roster in a desperate attempt to fix their image. They tried to give her jersey number 12. That isn't just a number on a mesh tank top. That is Diana Taurasi's number. It's the holy grail of women's basketball. But instead of saying thank you and falling in line like every rookie before her, Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham reportedly looked the committee in the eye and said, "We're not playing." This is the moment the WNBA realizes it no longer holds the power, and the fallout is going to be catastrophic.